Bad Choices by Sid Impu. When I was young, I was a good boy. I always listened to my grandmother, uncles and aunties and older cousins, especially my older brother. I went to a good school at Bush where we were taught outside under a tree. This was long before the new school was built, in a place called Kulbidara, which means place as a cave with a swimming hole near it, at past Norala, Cosses Bluff. When I got older, I went to Uriah College. It was good for me. I made new friends and learned new things. While I was there, I played footy. Then I moved to Ashes, where I met my cousin Eddie. At the start, it was okay. Then I started smoking cigarettes at 14, 15. On the weekends, we'd drink at parties and get in fights with other groups of teenagers. Sometimes we'd go stealing at night and break into houses and shops around Alice. I couldn't stay away from the new life I was in. Then the drinking and ganja got worse. I was only around 17 or 18. I was moving around between Alice Springs, Dari, Camel's Hump and my home, Undurana. I was working on cattle fences with my uncle as I was moving around those places. Then I was locked up for the first time for drink driving. The sentence was 4 months, but it seemed like forever. I couldn't hack it. When I got out, I was so happy. I felt like a new man again. Soon I was back in Alice on the same old road and in trouble again. Fighting, stealing, driving around drunk, it shanghaied me straight back into prison, this time for 6 months. The same routine every day was a challenge, and every night was a nightmare, tossing and turning in my cell, losing sleep. It's not an easy life in prison. Over the years, it got worse and worse. Out bush, in town, back to work, on the piss again, more wrong choices, back in jail, this time for 8 months. The sentence got longer and longer. I was stuck in the cycle. Somewhere along the way, my son was born. I felt like a new man again. I felt like I could stay out. It would be different this time, and I'd be there for him. I didn't know there was more trouble ahead, more wrong choices, bad crowd. It landed me straight back in prison, this time for 6 years. This was in 2009. I was meeting new people inside, but still seeing the same old mates, same old faces coming in and out, caught in the same cycle as me. I tried my best to stay out of trouble, working hard, doing courses for parole, but kept getting knocked back every 6 months. It was very hard for me. At the same time, I was thinking about what's changing in the world outside. I still had contact with Mum and all the other family members. I was getting visits from my son as he grew up from 3.5. I was sending him cards and presents every year. I was doing more courses just to prove myself. I was still getting knocked back from the parole board. Still no good answers. Finally, when I had 6 months left, the parole board decided to come see me. But it was my turn to knock it back. I wanted to do my full sentence and get out a free man at last. This was in 2015. I was out for 2.5 years. It was all good again. During this time, I had another son. I was a new man again, going out hunting with the in-laws, visiting family at Ndari and Undurana. I went for a drive back to Camel's Hump with my brother-in-law, Calvin. Visiting old places was hard for me. Sad memories came back of families passing away while I was inside. The old memories made me sad. Visiting spots from childhood, I'd see the old campfire spot where we'd cook kangaroos when I was 10 or 11. It gave me a really bad feeling, but some memories made me happy. When I went back into town, I tried to stay sober. After a few weeks, some family members forced me to drink. It was just one drink at first, then that would lead to 2 weeks or more of drinking every day. More wrong choices. Arguments would start over little things, and then the fighting began. One day I woke up and families told me that police were looking for me. For a couple of days I was looking over my shoulders. I was on the run. I didn't want to go back inside, but just like everybody else, I ended up back in the Greenbush prison. Now I'm back here thinking what it would have been like if I didn't pick up that bottle of rum. I'd be back home with my kids, but instead I'm here still awaiting trial. I may be facing another long stretch. To all of you watching this very moment, we are all in the same cycle. We should think about what we are doing to our families and our community. It's time to grow up. Our kids and the younger generation need role models. Let's teach them to make the right choices and to be strong like our ancestors.